What an eventful year it has been for Yannick Sinner. It started off with him winning the Australian Open. We've seen him over the months then lift the US Open title as well, and now we saw him win the Shanghai Masters too. So it's been a good year for him as a tennis player. However, he's been mired in some sort of controversy as well, and this is a controversy that has to do with a doping test which he failed. Now, there are plenty of question marks surrounding his doping test. There are plenty of question marks about when is it that the case will be heard before the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Then, will there be a ban imposed on him? That is the other big question. And lastly, the other thing that people really want to know about Yannick Sinner, if there is a ban imposed on him, that's one thing, but what about the titles that he won this year? Will he be stripped of those titles? Will he be stripped of an Australian Open title? Will he be stripped of his US Open title? All those questions we're going to be answering for you. So let's, without further ado, start by answering the big question: when is the case going to be heard before the Court of Arbitration for Sport? Well, as things stand, I was looking at some of the listings as well for the Court of Arbitration of Sport. Yannick Sinner's case, well, till around the 25th of December, till around Christmas time, actually there aren't any dates, there aren't any slots. All cases are already booked till then. So don't quite think you're seeing his case being heard in this year. In fact, it could go on to stretch all the way till the early part of 2025 as well, and till the time there is an official hearing, till the time there is a verdict from the Court of Arbitration for Sport, he may actually be available or eligible to play in the Australian Open as well the following year. So at the moment there is no date set for a hearing before the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Next, let's move forward and answer the other big question which is there at the moment. Now, can Sinner be banned? Well, the answer to that is yes, he can be banned. WADA is in fact seeking a ban of between 1 and 2 years for Sinner to be applied from the date of a CAS ruling. However, as I just told you, when that CAS ruling comes in, we don't know. But this is just part one of whether he will be banned or not. There is another aspect to it. Now, WADA believes the integrity agency of tennis, the ITIA, it believes that the ITIA finding that the player held no fault or negligence is not correct under the applicable rules. Now, give me a moment to explain to you what exactly happened over here. Now, the ITIA, while when the doping case came before the ITIA said, okay, we understand the explanation that was offered, that it was an over-the-counter medicine spray that was being used by one of his physiotherapists. His trainer, in fact, got it and then didn't use gloves while giving him a massage, and that's how the contamination sort of happened. So that explanation, the ITIA got that explanation and said, okay, we're fine with that. And what it said was that there is no fault of the player over here. However, this is where WADA has a problem. WADA says no, the player also is liable, and this is why the whole matter is before the Court of Arbitration of Sport now, because WADA, even though the ITIA does adhere to all the WADA protocols, the one thing that's not in line with how WADA looks at this whole situation is that you cannot give a clean sheet to the player over here as well. There is a liability that a player also has in all of this, and it cannot be overlooked. So that's why the whole matter has been taken to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Now, the other big question, and this is the last one that you would probably want to be knowing at the moment: what happens as far as his Grand Slam titles are concerned? Will he be stripped of those titles? Well, no. WADA says that it is not seeking a disqualification of any results other than the sanctions which have already been handed out. So there's a set of sanctions that have already been handed out. Some change in rankings also happened, and that's done. Whatever had to happen has happened. It's not looking to strip him of its title. So what in effect happens is that his Australian Open title and his US Open titles remain with him. This is the situation with regards to Yannick Sinner right now. Plenty of question marks around this doping controversy, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see how things take shape from here, because when that hearing, like I told you as well just a short while back, we don't know when that hearing begins. Until the time that hearing begins, nothing can be said in this whole situation.